Hey guys, as promised, here's the quick video on the practice key. They're posted, the answers are posted online so you can look at them. Number 1 is D. It exaggerates it because the scale doesn't start from 0. So the scale doesn't start from 0 right there. Number 2, read the key. The key says 9.7 is what a 9/7 means. So this is 17/6. So D is the answer there. Don't forget interquartile range, IQR is Q3 minus Q1. So you got to find your Q1 and Q3 off of this list. And depends on how you calculate it, but that is the closest answer there. There's no way it's 2.7 or anything else. So that's the answer for that one. Let me move this out of the way here. Number 4, it asks you where the median's at. Just remember a skewed graph, X bar, which is the mean, X bar, is always towards the tail side. So X bar is going to be 2 and the median is going to be 3. This one is the hardest algebra you're pretty much ever going to do in our class. So basically, if we know that the average is 325 and there were 12 of them, a dozen, that means 12 by 325 gives me the first total of 39 degrees. I'm going to add my new point to it, which is 650, and I'm going to divide that by 13. So this is all 12 original items. This is my 13th item, and if I add those two together and divide by 13 for my new mean, I get $3.50. So 350 is right there. 6. There's an obvious association if you really look at it. Way more males prefer Republican on this chart than females, and way more females pick Democrat on this chart. So there's an obvious association. If you knew the gender, you're going to probably be able to choose what political party they register for. So if we look at this one here, they give you all this information to throw you off. They give you mean, they give you median, and then they talk about the maximum value. So the maximum value went from 40 to 50. And if you read these, it talks about range and interquartile range. Well, we know range is not resistant, so it's going to increase, and the IQR is resistant, so it's going to stay the same. So that's why it's C. This is a statement on the definition of standard deviation. So they have the standard deviation of 24 and the mean, or the X bar, of 258 copies. So on average, the number of copies made each day is 24 copies per day away from the mean of 258. Remember that standard deviation is the average distance away from the mean. Number 9, they're never going to ask you like, oh, what's the median? Those days are long gone. So they're going to give you the 5-number summary. Don't forget that this is min, Q1, median, Q3, and maximum. They ask you how many scores are between 35 and 61. And if we line up a 5-number summary on the plot, between Q1 and median, there's 25% of the data, like I show here. And so therefore 25% times 380 is 195 is 95. So my answer is C. So this one, you got to pull the information out. Don't forget IQR is Q1 minus Q3. So they find Q1 and Q3 here. Q1's right there, Q3's there. So they do the calculations, and then they choose the outliers that are outside the range for both of them. So you guys can read through that one there. Nitrate concentrations in Stony Brook are lower. So again, we're using SOX, don't forget. When it comes to histograms, those answers are going to look completely different. So make sure you vary. Answers are going to vary depending on what you guys do, and make sure that you label your axes, your y-axis and your x-axis, with the content from the original problem. Don't forget that we're talking about resistant and non-resistant. So since we add 0 milligrams per liter to Stony Brook, if we go up to Stony Brook, it's got a mean of 5. That means the mean's going to go lower, and since the mean is going to go lower, we're going to add another one to Stony Brook. So it's going to increase the spread from the mean a little bit. So both of them are going to increase. And you could even say that the standard deviation is going to stay the same. Either one would be good. I'd probably choose the same. All right. Again, don't forget we're comparing using association. So we want to do a segmented bar chart. Everybody's going to look a little different. So don't forget to label your sides. This side with percentages, this side with your data, high, low, medium, and then public school and all those different things. So that is the description based on the graph that you should have done correctly. And then number 12, I'm going to leave because each 12 so just prepare for a critical thinking problem on the last one. Those are always the hardest. So the one that you're going to get it'll be completely different than this. So what circumstances might a person prefer to use a trimmed mean instead of a regular mean? You never know, depending on how far out your outliers are, and it depends on what you are measuring. So we will finish with that.